And that's why they call it an ice cream social. That
Oh,
it's only the
wow.
greatest joke, and I'm just realizing I didn't hit record to actually get it
Are
in
you
time.
serious?
That oh,
Oh
it's
my
like a
god.
35-minute joke as well. I have to retell the whole thing.
Listen, you know what? It's fine. They missed out on the opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah, I guess. You
We'll
know,
move on.
you don't be FOMO, people. All right, FOMO is probably the most 2025 feeling. It's just not good. You just don't want it.
Yeah. You know, you should take solace in the fact that you were not, in fact, involved with every single thing in everybody else's life.
That's true. You know what? I think it's a point of not pride. I was gonna say pride. It's a point of like, it's only recently really that people have access to an individual like
Yeah.
24/7. Like just 12, 15 years ago, we used to be forced to do landlines and nobody could like do anything. You'd have to
Oh
wait
yeah.
until the end of the day to return phone calls. And that in itself was a hassle that I imagine a lot of people kick back on.
Yeah.
It's like
You know,
email. I think email is the greatest form of communication.
oh, really? That is quite interesting that you say that.
Well, because it has so many perks. First of all, you can reread it. I don't have to re-listen to it because re-listening it activates ADHD and you end up
Hmm.
not listening to it, and then
I
you have
can
to go
agree to
back
that.
and listen to it again. Or I could just sit there and look at a wall of text for 15 minutes, not reading it because also activated ADHD.
Oh my
But then
god.
at least I can understand where I am in the line and I don't have to
Hmm.
go back and listen to it again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then I could just, it's like it's automatically, what do you call it? Translated, transcribed.
I mean, yeah, that's not even technically the truth. That's just straight up truth.
Yep,
It is
yep.
transcribed for you.
Although I think the speech to text is probably one of the greatest inventions of all time.
I will strongly disagree with you.
You don't like speech to text?
No, I do. The problem is half the time it's not accurate.
Well, that's there. Okay, that is true, but it's getting better. I think it's one of those things that it's like in early GPS days where
Hmm.
you'd end up in like a random parking lot in the like some other city than what you were trying to get to because it's like, oh, this is the address, right? Like you've
Hmm.
arrived. It's like there's nothing here. I'm in a cornfield. There's nothing here.
I see. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
But these days, I nobody I know has actually managed to get that to happen to them.
Have you ever been in a lift before?
Yes, you forget I used to drive for Lyft.
Yeah, no. The Lyft GPS is booty.
Well, Lyft GPS can choose between Google Maps, I think.
Hmm.
If it's the same way as it was when I was driving with them, you could do it for Google Maps, or you could do it through Apple Maps, or you could do it through their maps.
Oh, I
I
see.
chose Google Maps, and I never had a problem, not even
Hmm.
once.
Well, then, whoever has been driving me kind of sucks.
At that point, you just got to tell them. You got to point through the front window, and be like, "Hey, turn right here." If the GPS, you gotta be an active backseat driver participant when you're in some random person's car and they're
Are you
potentially
telling me
kidnapping you.
that it's 2024 and I have to be a navigator when we're supposed to have state of the art technology?
Well, when you okay, I yes. First of all, you're in
Disgusting.
somebody else's car. You don't even know this person.
Disgusting. I don't care if I
What
know
if
them or
they were
not.
Ed Gein and they were just they had decided they wanted to you were it. You were the one. They were
I
gonna
don't give a
turn your face into a suit.
I don't give a darn what they think they're gonna do. I'm just trying to get to work, probably.
Right, right. So you roll out of bed in the morning, you get into this guy's car, and he goes, "Hi, how's it going?"
Well, I'm not
You're
getting
like,
in his
"Well,
car.
I want to go. I'm going this way." Well, you don't talk to him, right? Because you
Hopefully.
don't talk to your driver. I'm assuming.
I mean, half the time they try to talk to me and I'll talk to them back, yeah, but I'm not actively seeking out conversation with them if that's what you're
No.
asking me.
Okay. To be fair, that is a very real Lyft driver, Lyft passenger relationship.
You also gotta remember the times that I'm getting rides is early in the morning. I just woke up less than 30 minutes ago.
Right. That's the perfect time to take you out into a cornfield and make you into a scarecrow.
Honestly, at least I don't gotta go to work.
Welcome to modern America 2024.
The 5-day work week, absolutely ridiculous. 4-day work
4
week,
or 5-day work week?
absolutely ridiculous.
How
I
well
propose. I saw a video that proposed a 3-day work week because technically you aren't doing anything on Mondays, but catching up. And once it's Friday after 12 o'clock, you're checked out anyways. And then
Okay, wait. So
there's
but
been
on Monday if you're
studies.
doing catch-ups, whatever day 1 of that is going to be catch-ups.
What?
Oh wait, are you saying that you say okay, so Monday is always Monday and it's always catch-up day.
Yes.
But Tuesday, for example, let's say it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but then Tuesday is regular work day, and then Wednesday is your checked out day. So really, you're
No, no, no,
doing
no, no, no,
2
no, no.
days of work.
So okay, so we're assuming that this is still a 5-day work week, right?
Uh,
Monday through Friday.
okay,
All Mondays are spent trying to catch up, and you're checked out already because it's the weekend. You don't want to be there. You're not putting your best effort forward, anyways.
okay.
Tuesday through Thursday, you're working. You're working hard. You're kicking butt. You're doing everything that you need to do. Once it hits Friday, you're not doing anything, anyways. So why even be there? Nobody's gonna be
Uh,
calling you or sending emails. Everybody's trying to check out and go home. We're trying to clock out, get out of there already. So let's not even work Fridays. Give us 3-day weekends. I'm cool with a 4-day work week because Monday again is meant for catch up. But I'd prefer if there was also no Monday because then we wouldn't even have the Mondays anymore.
Well, yeah, but then wouldn't just another day become Monday because your 3-day weekend would then spill over into that day?
Listen, I'm tired of you bringing facts and logic into my argument,
Okay, all right. Somebody's
but
been watching some socialist commentaries.
no, stop. That is not even the case.
Well, yeah, okay. This is something I was thinking about literally as I was falling asleep last night. You
Mhm.
know how there's a lot of industries out there that sort of they seem to breed like controversy.
Yeah.
You know, you think of things that garnish a lot of money, a lot of wealth and fame, like the film industry, the music industry, these kind of things. But
Mhm.
then there's like some industries that you haven't heard about in ages, and one of those is like the light bulb industry.
Yeah, I
There have
suppose.
been no, to my knowledge, there have been no controversies surrounding light bulbs ever. I mean,
I
I
don't know if
guess there
that's
was
true.
initially when what's his face was making the light bulb, and then everyone was like, "This is ridiculous. Street lamps are gas powered." And then he was like, "But if I make it electricity, then no gas. It smells better."
What is
And
the Phoebus cartel?
now it's been like,
Oh
are you
yeah,
looking
I
up
was I
light
was
bulb
strictly curious.
conspiracies?
Yeah, let's see.
Well, because I mean, you don't hear anything like, "Oh,
What is
like
that word?
this factory replaced the
Obsolescence.
halogen gas with
Oh,
napalm."
obsolete. Okay.
Suddenly, boom, people's lamps are going up in flames. And then some CEO has to come out and go, "All right, we of Light Bulb Industry 454 regret to inform everybody that there was a rogue agent who put napalm in the light bulb. You
Mhm.
honestly should have seen it because it was not gas, it was a liquid form." But
Geneva.
the
Sorry.
the Geneva Convention?
Yeah, on December 23rd, 1924, some international businessmen gathered in the Geneva for a meeting that would alter the world for decades to come, present their top reps from all their major light bulb manufacturers, such as Germany's Osram, Netherlands' Philips, France's Compagnie des Lamps,
Well, see, this doesn't
and
sound
GE.
like a problem.
Let's see.
This just
As
sounds
rather
like big
than the
light bulb
Christmas
getting
itself,
together.
oh, they founded the Phoebus Cartel, a supervisory body that would carve up the worldwide incandescent light bulb industry. So I guess
Oh.
this isn't. It's a. Oh, this is interesting. Wow.
Okay, so
It lasted into the 30s, though.
they're so unprone, not prone. They have so few conspiracies and like controversies around them that they literally named themselves the cartel. for
I
purposes of like drumming up more controversy.
think the word you're looking for is obsolescence because they use that word in this article at least 6 times.
Nice. Did you control
Which
F it? Find it. Find them all.
God dang it. Okay, obsolescence. 13.
13 times?
13 times
Wait,
in
were
the
they saying that light bulbs were becoming obsolete?
pretty much, or at
Wow.
least the oh my god, what are they called? Not incandescent, but the old school light bulb because everything's
Oh,
turning to
yeah, true. Yeah,
LEDs.
they went to stuff that's like it has like a 10-year life and they're charging I
Mhm.
mean they're charging like nothing for them. I don't know if you've
Oh, wait a
purchased
minute.
light bulbs recently, but
I
we
personally haven't, but I work at a job that purchases them.
yeah, like you know how much the light bulbs that you purchase are? They're not that
Uh,
bad. I mean, for how long they last?
well, yeah, that's true. We also have a lot of light bulbs to replace.
That's true.
Uh,
That's true.
what's it called? What was I gonna say? So there was like a documentary about that cartel, apparently.
What? Okay.
And it basically kind of went over like just the light bulb industry, that specific cartel, and how apparently, well, not apparently, it's just that's the way it works. They planned for light bulbs to slowly become more obsolete, or they knew the light bulbs were becoming more and more obsolete, and so they deliberately like started limiting or creating limitations for light bulbs so they would lower their lifespan. So
Oh,
people would have
they
to order
leaned
more
into
and
the planned
more.
obsolescence thing, huh?
Yeah,
Wow. Okay, that's pretty controversial. I have not
yeah.
heard anything about that. When did this documentary come out?
Let's find out. Let's find out. The Phoebus Cartel documentary. How do you spell Phoebus?
He's looking it up. He's like our computer
Phoebus.
wizard.
I'm in. Oh,
Like
sorry.
I say things and then he fact checks me, but usually I've moved on so fast that he can't actually fact check me.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Like
I
for
keep.
example, what if I just launch into the
Don't
ice
do
cream
this.
social bit, right?
Don't do
Okay, so
this.
it starts with a priest. He walks into a bar.
When was this movie made?
He he moves around inside the bar. Well, he greets the bartender, right? And he
Oh,
goes, "Hi."
I have an answer for you.
Okay, right. Where is it found? Where? When is it?
It was, or at least released in 2010,
Wow.
and
Okay,
it's
so it
literally
has
called
been a good 15 years since the last.
the big conspiracy that we know of, at
Yeah,
least.
the
But
last like exposing of that
the
industry.
documentary is literally called the Light Bulb Conspiracy, also known as Pyramids of Waste.
Interesting.
Which now I need to figure out why it's called
The
that.
pyramids of waste. It's probably talking about the giant trash island that's floating in the
Oh,
Pacific.
most likely.
It's a pretty cool spot. I've always wondered if you could actually walk on top of it. Like, is it like a like Cloudy with a
Oh, I
Chance of
see.
Meatballs kind of thing, but instead of food, it's trash?
How the waste hierarchy pyramid is applicable to textiles. What?
Wow, we're getting real deep this time. Textiles. The word textiles has entered the domain.
I haven't even heard of textiles since like 10th grade history.
Yep. Just because of that, we've entered like Smart Zone 2.0.
The
Also,
world's largest plastic waste pyramid has
you may
landed.
notice that we did not record last week, and that's because there was a lot of stuff that happened that weekend.
Oh boy.
I mean, a lot. First of all, it was WrestleMania weekend. I know that doesn't apply to everybody, but it does apply to me because I watched it, and it was like one of the coolest WrestleManias. I think it was one of the coolest wrestling events. Period. I think I've ever seen. First of all, the champion is no longer the champion.
That's wild. That's wild.
I'm trying to look. Okay, 1.3K. That's stupid. Give me the exact days. 100,000. No. Okay, 1,316 days. Was how long this dude was the champ for. Now, if you look at that and
That's
you
how long I'm
divide
trying to
that by
sleep.
365, well, I actually need. Okay, that brought up a Russian site. That's 3.5 years that this guy was the champion of the company. Now, to his credit, he had a kind of like a mafia style uh what do you call it? Sopranos like head of the table thing going on. And he was really kind of dominant over the entire faction. But for him to
Mhm.
be dethroned after that long, especially because last year, it's sort of a repeat. It was a repeat of last year where the guy that dethroned him hit him last year, but got beaten by the rest of his team.
Mm.
So it was a very cool. I mean, dude, the final event to that was one of the most. I assume you don't care if I spoil it.
Go crazy. Oh, I don't know if the fans will be upset
I'll
about it
give
though.
y'all a spoiler alert. I promise to talk about this until 16 minutes. Sorry, 17 minutes in at the most. Right. So okay, the final event, right, the main event was a 1v1 between Roman Reigns, who was a champion, and Cody Rhodes, who was the challenger. And Cody Rhodes is like his dad wrestled, really famous, had a ton of influence on the industry. So he has like the sort of uh, uh, royal family kind of pedigree thing going on. Uh, and so the two of them fought it out, and it was supposed to be basically all of Roman's faction versus just Cody Rhodes. But then other people started showing up when other members of the faction started coming in. Like it was insane because about 6 people came down to the ring in about a 2 minute time span. They were fighting it out. Cody was about to win. This other guy in the faction shows up, nails him with his finisher. They're going for like the ending of it all. And then another guy comes out to help Cody, bashes the other guy with a chair. Then Roman turns on him. He gets hit with a chair. Then Oh god. Then The Rock comes out, right? The Rock comes all the way down to the ring and is like, "All right, bam, waste the dude." Then the Undertaker shows up out of nowhere, choke slams the guy, and then just disappears. He choke slams The Rock dies, and then Cody is finally able to go for the ending. It was one of the most insane segments I've ever seen. It's a new
Mhm.
era in wrestling for those of you
See.
that are fans of wrestling. And I kept true to my word because I promised I was done talking about this at 17. And we're back. Okay, so those of you that skipped it, The Undertaker shows up. Oh my god, it was crazy. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. I really ruined that for a lot of
You're a
people.
problem.
So you know what? If you didn't see it live, it's like you just didn't see it. And that's called FOMO. All right. It's a 21st century problem.
That's not even true, and you know that.
What do you mean? It is totally true. That is FOMO.
It's only recognized as much now because everything's being televised. You can see everything that everybody's doing now.
Yes, I found out very quickly that if I didn't watch something I wanted to live, it would be spoiled for me in some way or the other because there's no way for me to stay off of my phone. I don't have the ability to not witness news on my phone. And my
Sounds like you have a
phone
problem.
will send me things. I mean, I was, what do you call it? Like subscribed to their email letter, but then when they kept emailing me the results of everything the day
Mhm.
after, like literally, okay, the event is over. Look at this, everybody. Here was the winning, like everybody who won. It's like, why? Why would you do this? I was planning on watching that tomorrow. Now I don't need to. There was no point because I've now seen all of this and all of the drama is now taken out of it.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. I'm still talking about the WWE. We promised we wouldn't do this anymore. That
I don't know
wasn't
who
the only
we
thing that happened
is.
last weekend, though. Isaiah, would you
Okay.
like to tell our esteemed audience what else happened?
What else happened last weekend?
The
It's been a
eclipse. The
Oh
eclipse
yeah, that wasn't the weekend.
happened.
That was
It
last
happened on
week.
Monday. Okay, so WrestleMania was a 2-day event. It was Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday was the eclipse. So there was just no day that we could back it up to. In hindsight, we
Mhm.
should have done it on Friday, but I'm pretty sure I was not available Friday. Yeah, see, it was just we decided we deserved a break. We've been putting it in the grind, but the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
eclipse,
yeah.
the Great American Eclipse, which for the first time in 200 no, it's like 500 years or something like that, crossed through
I just don't
where
know
I
why you put
live.
me on the spot like that. Like, I wasn't ready for this. We didn't have any lead up to this. I don't know what's going
Well,
on.
normally, see,
Like, I
we
need to
don't
talk to
actually talk about what we're going
Oh,
to talk about,
hey. I
and
didn't think you
we
heard
did
me. I was just
talk
talking
about
to our
this. We
I was talking
literally
to the
talked.
PR team.
Well, because we were saying, why didn't we shoot one last week? And that was because WrestleMania into the eclipse, and I was busy on Friday, so there was no way, there was no time to do it.
So you're the problem, is what you're saying.
Well, you also didn't hit me up, so you know what?
No, 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 no. We have a system.
We
You message me
is that
and you're like, "Hey, are you good?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." Cool.
well, the reason that we didn't shoot this yesterday is because you were busy, but we communicated that.
Yeah. I communicated that with you because I was busy. You never communicate with me when you're busy.
That well, I see how it is.
Yeah, you're the problem, not me. I
Some
can't be the
business
problem.
partner, am I right?
Wow, I can't believe you would say something like that to me.
Well, you didn't actually get to see the eclipse, did you?
Oh, I did.
Did it reach all the way up to where you were?
Oh, yeah. Here, I'm
Oh.
sending you
Well,
pictures
okay,
and a
wait, but
video right
you
now.
didn't get the total. You got like the partial, right?
I got the partial, but it was still really, really cool.
Yes,
It
yes, it
wasn't.
was.
It didn't even feel like it was partial with how, like, here. I sent you pictures.
Oh, yeah, 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 sure enough.
Yeah, like it didn't even feel like it was partial because it was so. The moon was consuming the sun.
Yes, it's kind of a lot of people I found out after the fact were saying it's the end of the world, which is
Yeah,
very
no,
exciting.
I found that out too. But I mean, at this point, how many apocalyptic events have we lived through?
Too many to count. But this one was really cool because I got to basically sit outside my own backyard and just look up.
I wish. I was unfortunately at work when it happened. Did I
Yeah,
spend
yeah.
two like an hour and a half looking at the eclipse only immediately to go to lunch afterwards? Absolutely. Was I wasting time?
Nice.
Yes, but I was wasting time on the clock.
Yes, and this is an event that won't happen again in this area for another, I think 2044 is the next time it's supposed to happen. It's like 20 years from now. Oh yeah, and it's not even happening in this area. It's happening. That's the next time it's coming through America,
Mhm.
and I think it's going to be going through like North and South Dakota and something else up there, Minnesota or something like that.
I see.
And that's in 20
Oh,
years. You know, if we want
okay.
to see it in 20 years, we're going to be like 40. We'll be like almost 50.
Let's see. You were born that year, right? Sorry, I'm doing a deep dive right now.
What are you doing a deep? Why are you doing a deep dive on our backstory?
I'm going to be seeing how many apocalyptic events we've survived.
True, that's right. Okay, so
One,
that's
two,
one of the weird things that I've always thought
three, four.
is so this last year, right? Maybe last summer, an event was being put on at a local. I say local. It was nearby, right? It was like 45 minutes to an hour drive away. Some event was being put on, and I was like, "Oh, really? I really want to go see this thing." So I bought tickets to it, and I was like, "Man, that was like eight." I made a plan like 8 months in the future, like a literal date 8 months in the future for an event that I was going to. I put it on my calendar, slowly but surely got closer to that day, and then it happened, went to it. It was awesome. Then I was like, well, now I don't have an event 8 months away to look forward to anymore.
Mhm.
Do I need to find like a concert or something to go to? And the longest I couldn't think the long that like that 8 month in advance, like with a hard date 8 months in advance, was maybe one of the longest like pre-planned events that I've ever done in my life.
Okay.
So for example, if we wanted to go to this eclipse in 20 years,
Mhm.
it would be smart of us to start making that plan now. Like, all right, we need to set aside basically a month. I don't know how long we would want to do it. It could just be like a weekend trip, to be fair,
Yeah.
driving up to Minnesota or wherever it is. Kind of doable, if we drive up there in one straight day, do it, and then drive all the way back.
We'll have to see what happens because 20 years is a long time.
That's what I'm saying. How do you make a plan 20 years in the future? What if you're
I mean,
dead?
only
How would you
the best
possibly
of
make that
friends could
plan
do
happen?
something like that. And then if one of us dies, the other one's like, "Well, I made this plan. I have to see it through now."
Yeah, yeah. Already put down the
How
deposit, just gotta go.
yeah. However, uh, I don't think I would even remember about it simply because I forgot the eclipse is happening until the day of.
See, what I don't understand is how you exist without a calendar.
No, I do have stuff in my calendar, just things that I put in there that I deem are important enough.
I would here's my unsolicited advice then. Start putting more stuff in your calendar.
No, it's fine.
You know what random stuff I have in my calendar?
What?
I put this in our calendar, first of all.
This is in our in my calendar,
In my
and
calendar,
I
sorry.
still haven't taken
Yes,
it off
yes.
still.
I have birthdays in here. I
I also have
have
birthdays.
uh hanging out. All of this is color coded as well, right?
Mhm,
Hanging
mhm.
out with people or doing events with family or friends is purple. I have 3 purple events this week, not this week, this month. 2 of which have already passed.
What the heck?
Let's see. Birthdays are in yellow.
Why is that? That's
Movie
weird.
premieres. I have movie premieres in here. They're green, light green, not the dark green, because the dark green is something else.
This
Oh yeah, the
guy.
dark green is automatically assigned to stuff like the first day of Women's History Month, which my phone automatically puts in for me, which is awesome.
Hmm.
Easter is dark green. Actually, is that dark green? I don't know. What I'm saying is, oh yeah, film gigs are red. Yeah. So what I'm saying is
See,
you should
hmm
put and color code everything. It's honestly not
okay.
that difficult. Once you get used to it,
Allow me to defend myself.
okay, go. You have 2 minutes on the clock.
All right. So for this month, we're in April now, right?
Yes.
I have a few things in there. What are they called? Government or like national holiday type stuff. That's in like a dark teal kind of color.
But your phone
But like,
automatically puts those in for you.
yes, those blocks are fully colored, right? For birthdays, it's more of a blue. Kind of like a, I don't even know. Let's just go with blue. It's more of a blue, but the whole text is colored in. Not the text, but the box where the text is colored in. For the things that I put in there myself, it is just a little sliver of blue, and then the thing that I put in there myself, such as this. I have it set for every weekend, every Saturday, to this day, and it's been like that for months. Which I still don't know
Nice.
why I keep forgetting about it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
mostly
In
because
that case, your problem might be that
I'm
you're not
busy.
checking it.
That might be fair. Tomorrow's tax day, apparently.
Yes, it
Don't know what
is.
that means. I
That's when
have
taxes are due.
already did my taxes
Guess
because
what I
I'm
get to do
cool.
today?
Oh boy. I've got reminders reminders in here for my class that I don't even take anymore because I got poor. Um don't laugh.
You
Um
got
Whenever I
poor.
was still in therapy, I had that in there. Um I think my busiest month was December, really, because that's when I was doing a whole bunch of what's it called? I was putting out a whole bunch of applications. I got interviews. Um, I had orientations to go to. Uh, Actually, yeah, I ended up putting a lot of things in there and stuff for myself, like get tested for drug testing for job,
Nice.
other
Yeah.
people's birthdays, stuff like that. Like I have stuff in here. Fortunately for me, most of the reminders that I need are for my job, and unfortunately for me, I'm the only one who ever remembers anything for my job.
What
So
do you mean remember or anything?
I've been kind of conditioned to be the calendar for my job, for my
Oh,
coworkers.
I see. Because
And
you're the only
so,
one with an actual modicum of organizational ability.
oh, unfortunately, yes.
Nice.
Me of all people is the organized person.
Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
really miss the days when I could remember all of this stuff.
yeah,
Now
you're just
there's
getting
too
old.
much. There's too much going on. That
You're
or I
getting
have
that.
just let that part of my brain go
Could very much be the case.
because I have an app that does it for me. You know, I found out that one of my Samsung, right? So I'm an Android user. I'll say that loud and proud.
You're a loser.
Android
I'm
user.
also
Recently, they
Samsung.
have put on this thing in beta called like Samsung Health or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Which is this sort of experimental way for your phone to sync up all of your fitness apps and really just health apps in general. I mean, they kind of install some automatically, but then there's other ones, and those other ones used to not really talk to each other. Like I have an app that connects to my scale so that when I weigh myself, it automatically uploads the data to my app. And then that thing, thank God, syncs to my other apps because it doesn't really do anything else.
that's pretty cool.
Yes, it's super handy. Like one of my favorite inventions. One of the greatest inventions of all time. Sorry, I'm supposed to say that. That's one of my catchphrases. Anyway, Samsung Health has promised to do that, but basically universally. Currently, it has like a 2.5 or like a 3, like out of 5 rating. So it's not
Hmm.
working as intended, clearly. But one of the things it was like, hey, we're releasing this new product. Will you give us permission to sync your data? I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'm already doing that. You know, you guys know pretty much everything about me already. And so I was looking at the stuff that it was like tracking, right? And a lot of it was, applicable to me, but some of it was like I didn't realize that there are apps to track menstrual cycles.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
I don't know why I hadn't known that was an actual thing. I mean, it's like there's a lot of trackers for, habits and stuff. That one, I don't know. I don't know how you were supposed to know otherwise.
Mhm.
Like, I guess you suddenly, I'm in pain. Like, oh, I must be menstruating.
I mean, yeah, no, that's how a lot of people like can tell, like if they have like an irregular period, or like if they missed it, if then they start to panic because one reason or another, or if it comes early. Because I know there's a lot of factors that come into play with it, and there's times where it can even like the cycle can completely just shift out of nowhere.
I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But it's like, are you okay? Women in our audience, not a lot of them. I promise. I guarantee it. Not with me around.
Yeah,
Are you
or
having
would
to
they?
manually put in honestly, what I should have done is just download one of these apps so I could understand what on earth is going on. It's like, are you having to manually put it in? Be like, "Yes, I'm on right now." And then however many days later, then do you mark I'm off? And then after enough months or weeks of tracking this, I guess it would probably do it by week. n- Would it then be able to tell like, okay, this is like how often, in general, and then is it like a little notification that comes down and then you just hit yes? Like it's like, hey, is it your time? And you go yes. And then is it like, are you done? Yes. Or if you hit no, does it pop up the next day? See, I have so many questions about this app.
I assume that again, it varies depending on the app because there may be some that like are able to predict it just by you putting in the first information. Maybe there might be some where it's like, oh, you track it yourself,
But
and it's just like a calendar
there's
kind of
no way
deal.
you can put in this date. Well, I guess if it's like if you're a
Because
super
it's supposed
regular
to
like
be,
30-day, right?
yeah, it's
I
supposed
guess
to be
that's
monthly.
true. So this
Uh,
is a long-standing bit of me not knowing actually how women work at all.
Correct.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
You should get some more female
It's like
friends.
if people track their poops. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
I
not
mean,
quite equivalent, but I'm trying to think for a man,
yeah.
it's like we don't really have
Hmm.
the same
Same things to look think about.
yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
It was a weird
yeah.
topik.
I don't know how we got here.
I was just fascinated by the fact that
This
it's
is
like I was
why
like,
I don't
why
let
is
you.
this
This is
on the
why I'm
list?
not supposed to let you keep talking.
Are you supposed to cut me off? That's in our contract.
Yeah,
Just stop him from talking about this.
but I wanted to see where you were going with this one.
I don't know. I was really interested in the fact that they had an app for that, and I didn't
Hmm.
realize. I mean, I think they have an app for that phenomena is so old at this point. Like they were doing that in like the early days of Apple. I guess that was probably some marketing campaign for them to be like, "Hey, if you get our phone, we can literally do anything." And it's pretty much
Hmm.
true. They could do pretty much anything.
Oh snap!
It's like I like to track my sleep patterns, right? That way I can
Yeah.
try and be consistent in when I fall asleep because it's supposed to help. And I almost
Oh, I
never
see
do
exactly
because
what
I'm
you're talking.
terrible at it.
Okay.
It's like it syncs
Cool.
that up too. It syncs up that and menstruation. Very cool.
Oh,
You looking at
interesting.
a
Oh
menstrual
no,
app?
I also have Samsung, so I also have Samsung Health.
Oh,
Samsung Health,
are you
and it's on
syncing right
there.
now? You're seeing probably the same thing I was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the way that it works on Samsung at least is it's like, oh, when was your last period? And you click the date, and then it asks you, how long is your typical cycle?
Wait, did you just download an app?
No, I have Samsung. This has been on my phone. I've just never touched it.
Wait, that's like a built-in app?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
it is for me at
Wait,
least.
is it wait,
Maybe
what is it?
how long have
Is
you
it
had
really
this?
Samsung Health?
It's just called Health on my phone. How long have you had your phone though?
Good question. It's just called
Because
Health.
my phone is relatively new, so it could be something that it could have been like bloatware that they added later on
Yeah,
newer
all I have is
devices.
Google Fit and Fitbit.
Yeah, no, Samsung Health. That's a whole thing.
Yeah, I don't have that one on mine. I guess I haven't installed it or something.
Samsung Health. Because I know Samsung has their own like their own little app store as well,
Yeah, well,
which
the
is
Samsung
primarily
Health is the
Samsung
one that they
devices.
wanted me to like approve,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not actually installed on my phone. It's just like, hey, we're
Oh,
launching this new thing into beta. And I
Mhm.
guess when I agreed to it, they just didn't install it on my phone. That's amazing.
Oh, there's also digital well-being. Oh boy.
That one's different. That's like tracking how often you use your phone and stuff.
Oh, I'm aware. And I should be ashamed if I actually look at how bad it is.
Yep. See, that was part of the reason why I decided to get rid of certain apps, like Reddit. I'm no
Mhm.
longer on Reddit at all. I've
I
noticed
can't
my
say
hours
same.
and stuff like YouTube going up,
Oof.
but
God
there's
dang.
also a good reason for that. That's because YouTube, plays music, and so I play music while I'm working,
Yeah.
and then it counts that for some strange reason.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I use mine like most people. I doom scroll. When I'm bored, I just kind of just go on the social medias. Other times, I'm playing games on my phone. I have a couple games on there,
Wow,
like
bold,
Pokemon
bold
Go.
to play. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair.
Or I'm talking to people. A lot of times, I'm just talking to people and just watching YouTube on the TV, so I'm not really on my phone.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's how it's be sometimes.
Mhm. Well, the reason I bring up the Minstrel app because it seems like there's a
We're back
lot
again.
of sort of how do you call them? Oh gosh, what was the name for them? They're like essentials, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if you've heard the outcry of making like tampons, right? Be
Yeah.
covered under I don't know if it would be under insurance or if it would just be like a universal sort of a universal basic income sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's
They're
like
playing like some kind of healthcare kind
yeah,
of
it
stuff.
like naturally happens to everybody. Well, women, but then
Mm-hmm.
men have similar things that we could like. I don't know, maybe condoms would be underneath that same concept. Not necessarily a necessary thing in that. Oh, suddenly we're bleeding into our pants kind of situation going on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think there's a big difference though between tampons and condoms or any kind of menstruation devices and condoms. Condoms are first of all optional,
True.
unfortunately.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, but menstruation, I don't even know what the words are here. Uh, I don't deem those as optional. They're
We're not
very
really
much
versed in this.
yeah, they're very much needed is the thing.
Yes.
They're very much and
Yes.
it's should be something that should be covered in like healthcare and stuff like that because it's a part of health. And again, most women go through menstruation.
Oh, here's one. Toilet paper. Unless you have a
Interesting.
bidet, toilet paper is actually a necessity. I mean, you could get sick if you don't wipe your butt.
Just take a shower.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much just a bidet.
Yeah, just not as fast.
It's like, why isn't
I
this
don't know.
stuff covered? We kind of get water, or we get water
You know
really
why,
cheap.
right?
Huh?
Because if they cover all the stuff that we actually need, how are they going to make money?
I don't know. Other stuff, insulin.
Mm, no, no, that's no.
I
People
would I would
people need.
trade
Have you ever
insulin
heard? Let me
people for
let me
having
tell
all
you.
women get access to
I don't know. Let me tell you about a certain thing called diabetes.
okay,
I think
right.
they would have an issue with that.
Well, yeah, but there's less of them than there are women.
That's
If
fair.
we have to if we have
What
to
about women with diabetes?
well, they're at least getting some good. They might die, but they'll at least be
That's oh my god.
clean.
You're not making this better for yourself at all.
Let's see, you got to think about it from the greater of the whole. You could either be paralyzed and do nothing for nobody, or we sacrifice the diabetics.
What is the paralyzed? Is that women or is that diabetic?
It would be both. Because both sides are like, well, I want this and I want this. I want cheaper tampons. I want cheaper insulin, right? Both valid, both good concepts, but
Hmm.
we can't do both.
Unfortunately,
Maybe you ask yourself, why can't we do both?
there's
The answer to which I don't have a good answer to. Because the situation
unfortunately
here is we have to choose one.
I think there's more men with diabetes in power than there are women in general. And so they're going to put men
Ah,
first like they always do.
that's like that article that I sent you that CEOs with the name of John have officially been replaced by women.
Yeah.
You remember that? That was a couple years ago. I still remember that image. We're on the
Yeah, you've been
downfall.
replaced. Ooh, excuse me.
That's fair. So then what you're saying is it's only a matter of time. Well, because the diabetes people are going to die out eventually.
I don't want to wish that on anybody, especially because we may have some people with diabetes listening to us.
That's true. Hi, diabetes people.
Oh my
Look, it
god,
could
you're a
work the other way.
problem.
We could sacrifice women's comfort for you guys. I promise.
So
I'm
you remember
I'm all right with that
remember
too. Because guess
how
what? Neither of these events
God,
affect me directly. I can make decisions
you
on anything.
you're actually being a problem, and I know you are very much aware of
Well,
it, and you pissed me off. You're literally just being a man in
it's the
power.
trolley problem. Would you rather kill 15 people or one person? You choose.
Well, it depends. What have they done with their life?
I don't know. All you know is that they're tied to a track and there's a train barreling down towards them. You control the switch. If you pull it one way, only one person dies. If you pull it the other way, 15 people dies. If you do nothing, randomly one of those two will be killed.
I have a solution. Pull it halfway, and the trolley goes off the tracks.
Well, that would be a dexterity roll, and I
Mm.
don't think that's how that would work.
Oh, you underestimate
I
me.
don't think there is a halfway pull mark. To be fair,
I don't think.
not a
Have
conductor.
you ever been a trolley conductor? I
No,
don't
I
think
have
so.
not. I've been
Yeah,
on a
yeah, yeah.
train though. So have you?
I've been on a train a couple of
Yep,
times.
yep. All I know is that
So
if you lean out the window and you shoot the thing that changes the track with a gun, you can go left or right.
true. Yeah. How did we get here?
I don't know. I was thinking about the trolley problem again the other day.
Is that what you want? Is that the reason why you just wanted to have a trolley situation
Well,
again?
I didn't initially think to tie it into women's tampons and diabetic
Uh huh.
insulin needs. It just
I
kind of
see.
went there, you know?
Gotcha.
See, in case you
Well,
don't know, audience, we kind of got our start in
oh my
improv
god.
comedy, I guess I would say is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say
We've
so.
sort of followed the pipeline of comedians, except that we didn't actually do the group sketch comedy, or
Yeah, we
rather,
skipped that entirely.
not could be sketch comedy.
Well, we
I
didn't
guess
do
it would
group
be.
sketch comedy. We did
We
sketch comedy. We just didn't.
Yes, it was a
Yeah,
duo rather than stuff like like getting 5 people together. I guess we would
yeah.
be closer to like Key and Peele than we would the Whitest Kids, you know.
Question:
Yeah.
say we got invited to SNL for some reason, right?
Whoa, bold. Okay.
Would we be invited as Lamb a la John the duo or individuals?
That depends. I don't know if they've ever done any duos. I
Uh huh.
don't think I'm pretty sure that either Keegan from Key and Peele or Jordan from Key and Peele also was on that, but I think they were solo.
Hmm.
If I'm recalling correctly, that's been a couple of years ago, so I might be misremembering.
Mm-hmm.
They might do a duo. It'd be weird to do like the monologue at the beginning if there's two of us,
True.
but I wouldn't
Hmm.
say no to it. That'd be an interesting. SNL hit us up. We're pretty famous.
Yeah.
We're a pretty big
Very
deal.
famous,
This is like our
actually.
21st episode,
I think so. Yeah,
and
I
we've
think we
done some
broke
pretty
20.
banger sketches.
And we're on season 3 still.
Yes, this is season 3. Season 3 in
Which
like
this is our
8
longest
years.
running.
Yeah.
We do have some pretty bomb sketches that we haven't even done yet.
Also true. We have like 40, way more than 40.
No,
Is
we
it
have
like
like
80?
80.
Yeah.
Yeah, 80
We got a lot in
sketches
the
that we
pipe.
started.
We're ready to just crap them out.
We're just gonna get comments. So then, where are they?
We're working on them. We're still writing. We got a lot of projects going on. Speaking
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
projects, I think
Okay.
I can officially say I have finished
Audio?
revamping. Oh God, no.
Oh,
Revamping the character art for the characters that I've already created within audio.
I see.
I started this in January. To be fair, while I was doing this, for context, I started this in January. It's been 3 months. We're in April now. It's
Yeah.
getting closer to, yeah, I'd say it's been 3 months. January 14th to April 14th is January, February, March, April. It's been 4 months. It's been 4 months
May,
that I've been
June,
working on this.
July, August, September, October, November, December.
Now, to be fair, while I was doing this, I was also rewriting, revising, reviewing, putting new lore
Mm-hmm.
in for certain characters, certain places.
Nerd.
Well, thank you. But now I feel pretty well, I keep finding a character that I'm like, wow, this art was kind of gross because I did swap. Like I started with a prompt, right? Because I'm using sort of AI generation to create these images.
You're a monster.
It's necessity. I, I've
You
I've
literally
I've
get
s-
artists to draw for you.
wait, I could, yes.
In
That's
case
actually
of
the next step in the art pipeline, is I
mm,
stole people's art off of Pinterest. I then used them as inspiration to create
you're actually a
my own
monster.
art, right?
You should be ashamed of yourself.
They're not all identical. There are some that I can look at the original and then look at the secondary and go like, they're pretty close. That's why
How convenient.
the third step in the art process is going to happen. See, they do this all the time in films. They will take old music from other films and they will put it into a scene to show the composer what they want the scene to feel like.
Mhm.
Usually that's a really bad idea because it then locks in the composer to having heard this and now it's like stuck in their brain.
Uh-huh.
Now, to be fair, if I had to show somebody like, okay, say take for example in like your old character art for some of your characters, how you drew it in middle school and then redrew it in high school and then sort of redrew it now, or adapted it via an art
Mhm.
program, right? It's the same concept, where except I have no artistic talent when it comes to drawing things, and I
Damn.
have the desire but not the talent or time to learn. And so I have taken other people's art as inspiration. Thank you, artists. I'll credit all of you, I promise.
Sure.
Then
I'll hold you to it.
then you run it through like an AI sort of software, taking sort of the some concepts that you liked about that character and then transforming it into a new piece of something, right? Then the third step in this process, for at least for me, is going to be taking these AI generated art images and running them back through a human to get a result closer to what I want. Because there's only so much amount of control that you have when an AI gets involved. And you can specify like hair color. You can tell, I want glasses on this person. I want her to be wearing wizard robes. Then you kind of,
So,
have to run it back through a human again to make sure that everything's all right. Some of them, if they're a bow wielder, they just can't do bows. I don't know why. It's fucked. It just doesn't work. But it can do other things, including giving him a sixth finger, which is very weird.
so I just want to make sure I'm understanding correctly, okay?
Yeah.
So, you stole art, then you AI generated art based on that art style, or based on that art, and now you're going to get artists to a make their version of the AI version of the stolen art.
In a certain way, that's a way to describe it. Yes.
No, that's exactly what you said to
No,
me.
I would disagree. For example, if like okay, so one of my characters, right, is pretty much just like if you imagine a generic anime protagonist, right? He's got brown hair, he's got skin, he's got brown eyes, he's wearing adventuring
That's not an
clothing.
anime protagonist with brown hair.
He's a very normal looking dude.
That's lame.
Yes. Well, he's sort of intentionally so. That's literally was his character, right? So I wrote this character and then I needed to find art for them. So I found sort of a generic looking anime character with the aspects that I wanted, and I stole that art. Yes. I didn't steal it as much as borrowed it because I'm not claiming ownership of that. It
Mhm.
was more of a placeholder for when I actually ran through when I was actually able to make my own art. I would draw it myself if I could, if I had the time and talent to do so. But because AI exists now, thank you,
Mhm.
I was able to basically take the concept and then remove the placeholder art and replace it with official art.
I see.
Most of the characters, that's one of the reasons why it took me,
Scum.
4 months to get through this, is most of the characters are not identical. Some of them are
Mhm.
awkwardly similar to each other, and I've had to make like lore reasons, Some people have become family because I couldn't get it to generate a different prompt between two white guys with short hair and a beard.
You're just not trying hard enough.
Well, most of the time what I've been doing is just changing their entire character into
Mhm.
something else. Like I don't know if you
Ah,
recall, it's been a long time since you interacted with these guys, but one of the very first events is you get to board a pirate ship, sort of a pirate ship.
yeah.
And there used to be a dude. There used to be, I think he was a black pirate guy who now kind of looks a lot like the Ducks, the Mighty Ducks, the what do you call them? The hockey. They were hockey
Hockey
players.
players? Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a Mighty Duck.
Oh, alright.
He's just totally different than what he was before. Like that character
Mhm.
art was basically okay. I needed a pirate, and so I put a pirate in there. I was like, well, I needed to be different than everybody else, so he had a parrot and he was black. Those were his two main features, right? In the initial character draft.
Yeah.
Then he got changed to be a platypus or a duck. I think he was a duck, and the other guy's a platypus.
Oh,
So see,
okay.
it's not necessarily stealing. It's
Mhm.
inputting temporary character art and then replacing that temporary character art with official art because the character
Yeah?
concept that I had initially written matched or got close enough to somebody else's drawing that I was able to borrow that, stick it in there to be like, this is what it kind of looks like, but not necessarily what they actually look like. This is closer to it, still not the final product because I want one more pass through all of these characters, and there are literally hundreds. At this point, there are hundreds, and there are hundreds more to be made. Like I've re-entered into the creation, and like literally, I think I spent 4 hours yesterday doing this, and then got to like finish out the last remaining characters, do some organization of other ones because I'm prepping for this new zone that I'm writing,
Yeah.
and then I went, okay, so now I have to make a new military unit. I have three military units created, which are comprised of a general, a commander, and three teams of two-ish people. I've decided I'm limiting it to two because I don't want to make it more than that, which means that, and I have 30. I have 30 of these groups.
Yeah. And you're not making them all generic, or you
Some of
I'm
them
confused.
are. Some of them are entirely well because the faction they're coming from is humans, right?
Yeah.
And so, or rather, they're the faction that they're coming from is majority human. The ones that I've
Mhm.
created now are primarily it's like a special ops unit. It's a unit of elves and then locals to the area that they're protecting. And then there was another one who was mainly human because by necessity. That's like their lore. But then there are a lot of
Yeah.
other ones that are also human oriented. Uh, and being able to make I need to do the math on this. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 times 31. Let's do 8 times 31. That's 248 NPCs.
Jeez.
Now I've done 3. So 24. That's 24. What did I say? 200, huh?
I don't remember.
8 times 31 minus 24. Okay, so I still have approximately 224 NPCs to create in this military organization. I'm not doing this
And
all
you're
at once. But
yeah.
because I don't think I can physically churn out 224 NPCs back to back,
Lame.
well, I think 224 is close to the amount that I've already generated, and that's taken me about 5 years.
Mhm.
So it's a process. I've been trying to not categorize, compartmentalize, and handle it as I'm going, right? So I'm entering this new zone. There are 2 of these military units here, whereas previously there's been 1 at the old one and 1 at the other one. Now there's 2. So I need to create 2 full ones that don't necessarily need to be super unique, but they do need to
Mhm.
have at least the main 2, like the generals and the commanders need to be unique, and then I can kind of fill it in with generic soldiers. But I'm understanding why games like Fire Emblem, where you're
Mhm.
creating scores of characters, like every game in that series has like 20 plus characters, right? And all of them are supposed to have unique backstories and unique interactions with you, and they're all kind of unique characters. But then if you've played every Fire Emblem game since I don't know when they first came out, the 90s, you're looking at some characters and you're going, okay, that's a blue haired. I mean, you see this in Smash Bros, right? It's a blue
Yeah.
haired sword wielding anime protagonist. Like, there's only so much you can do with that setup. At least in Dungeons and Dragons, there are an infinite amount of characters theoretically that I can create. It's not limiting. It's the opposite of limiting. It's paralyzing because of how limitless it is. Like
Mm,
technically there isn't really a duck race. I'm kind of calling them an Aven or an Aarakocra or a Kenku.
see.
There's a couple of specific ones in there. But yes, the overall takeaway is that I'm finally making forward progress again, and it's cool.
I
It's
sound a
daunting.
little uncertain of
It's
that.
it's a little daunting. Well, like I said yesterday, I finished 4 hours of work and then was like, okay, now I need to create 2 military legions with 8 characters inside of each of these, also populated. I mean, there's approximately 150 people in each one, but I'm limiting to only 8 major players because the rest of them are kind of fodder, more or less. Bad way
Yeah,
to describe them, but I can't
it's kind
name
of terrible.
if I need to name an NPC on the fly. That's what it happens. It comes on the fly. That's one of the things of D&D that's awesome. You can just look up a name
Mm.
generator. By the way, kind of artificial intelligence if you think about it.
You use name generators?
I
Pathetic.
have in the past. I try not to because I find their names are often really boring. But
Hmm.
I do have a bookmarked page. Actually, I will tell you one of my favorite ways of generating names, locations, or anything is I have this website. Right? I forget the exact name of it. I'm sure I could pull it up right now because there it is. It's this thing called the nonsense word generator. It generates how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 50. It generates 50 random collections of phonemes, which I don't know exactly what a phoneme is. I think it's like letters that can go together.
Spell that.
Phone. Wait, yeah, phone. Phonemes. Phonemes.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, yeah. An actual word, like this is what they say on their website, is checked against a list of approximately 500,000 real words. An actual word may slip through, but it should generate pronounceable gibberish. So they're not
Gibberish?
real words, right? Minated,
Yeah.
snoffing, or snug. Actually, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Mm,
Pribbles, right? It's just like a bunch of random kind of nonsense words. And
I
if
see.
you, what I like to do is I like to look at this list. It could generate a new list every time I click on this. And every time that I look at this, I can look at a word, right? Say like Ducivient, Ducivient. I don't know if that's a
What are you
real word or not.
saying to me?
I'm saying that's a nonsense word. That's a combination. It's a mashup of different potential words that is creating nonsense. Now, to me, I can look at that and go, Ducivient, that kind of sounds like a last name for somebody. I think if I
Yeah.
think about where that would fit in, that might fit into this next arc that I'm writing. Ducivient could be one of the royal guards in the palace because I'm still fleshing out that list of characters as well. It does
Hmm.
sound kind of vaguely French, vaguely English, kind
Du
of.
Sivian.
Yeah, Ducivient. So
I
and then
see.
and that's just like a nothing. That's a nothing word. If you Google this word, what does this actually mean? Nope. The closest word is deficient. So it's not an
I
actual word.
see.
It's not an actual word. It's a random combination, which means it's perfect. And I don't have to worry about coming up with random names huh,
Hmm.
on the fly because I just have this kind of nonsense generator that I can then filter. Right? What I'm doing is I'm filtering AI through myself. I don't
Yeah.
know if you would call this AI. It's pretty much exactly like if I had asked
Oh, there's.
who knows what, Grok or whatever X has these days to generate words for me. But I'm not actually doing that. And this thing has been around since the beginning. I've had this saved since the very first days of me writing on Audio.
Noted. Interesting. See, I like to make my own names up. I'm pretty good at making names if I do say so myself. I can give you a list of some real quick if you want.
Yeah, let's start with Crystal Cheetah.
First of all, I made that when I was like in eighth or fourth grade, so kiss my butt. I'm talking about for D&D, thank you.
Ah, yes, yes. Right. Wow me with one of your most recent names. I know what the original ones were.
Yeah, you know Raspborn, you know Pendleton Quinter.
Yes, yes.
Is he the third? I can't
He
remember.
was
I don't think
he
he
would have
is.
been the
But
second, I think.
obviously there was Loxodon O'Donovan the Valiant. You know him.
Right, yep.
You know a couple other ones, but here's the ones that you have not heard, I think. So we have Paladeus. Uh oh,
Is he
that's
a
right.
paladin?
No, he's a barbarian fiend
Okay,
apparently.
apparently.
I I don't remember. But anyways, there's Hermosa Fuentes, who goes by Fuen. It's Spanish, I think, for beautiful fountain.
Nice, okay, yeah.
She's an artificer Vidalcan. There's Laramie, who's a rogue fairy. I don't know where that one came
Yeah,
from.
that came from me.
Was that you?
That's one of the names I've used throughout the years.
I mean, it's a common. Anyways, there's Tetrabol, a ranger elf.
Right,
Don't know
okay.
where that one came from either. Azulok, an Oathbreaker paladin, fallen Asimar.
Nice, yeah.
I remember that one because I started making like a TV show idea using Azulok, but it kind of turned into a little bit like Seven Deadly Sins, so I stopped.
Nice.
There's Cecil Andros, which I think you had a character named Cecil, probably.
Yes, yes, I did. I think he's a
Probably
blacksmith.
that's probably what I think. Do you remember how you spell it? Was it SESL or was it something else?
Sessel, I think. Cecil.
Okay, so technically not the same. It's just different font. We have Sterling O. Maxwell, which I
A lot of
believe is the
Irish
name
guys.
of. I believe that is the name of, or based on the name of one of the residents that lives here,
Nice.
Sterling Maxwell. Um, his brother's name is Aristotle, so that's pretty cool
That's
too.
awesome, yeah.
We have Niles James, which is a name of another resident here.
How many characters are you playing these characters? Or are you just making them?
I just make characters.
Oh god, okay, I see.
Well, this one I do play. This is Natalie Brigmortar. She's my orc that was raised by dwarves that I'm playing in Jacob's
I
campaign.
see.
Uh, there was a Warforged rogue that also multiclassed into Bard, apparently, that I was going to name Phantom Express.
Nice.
A Warforged created by a dark society that thrives in the shadows to be an assassin. He isn't emotionless, but he puts his directive above all else. He's an assassin.
Yeah, so see,
Uh,
basically the takeaway is that we all have different ways of generating
Shut your
content.
mouth. I'm not done. I have two more.
Two more.
Yeah, we have Iron Horse, which is a Spring Eldrin Druid. I don't remember where that one came from. And then my latest one, which I don't think I sent you the story for this guy. I made a whole backstory for him. His name is Tree Brute. He's a Warforged Druid.
Nice.
Um, it was a robot that got turned into a Warforged due to uh, life or nature reclaiming the area. It was a part of a war. It died. A whole bunch happens, but it turns into a Warforged, and it basically gives up its identity as a soldier in the war and becomes Tree Brute with the goal of reviving the tree that gave it life.
Wow. Yeah. See, like I said, everybody has their own ways of making content.
You're a piece of
What?
anyways. I also have my
Hey.
cool projects I'm working
Yes,
on.
yes,
I'm not gonna go
yes, you
into
do.
it. I'm
Unfortunately,
just gonna let you know
unfortunately.
because you're nothing but a meanie and a bad person to me.
You see, welcome to this is why see we have two names for this podcast. There's John Talks to Lamb and Lamb Talks to John. This one I think was a John Talks to Lamb.
It's always a John
I
talks to
think I
Lamb.
ranted
It's
for
never
about an
me.
hour. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. And tune in next time to hear about Lamb's whatever the fuck he's doing.
If he remembers what we're talking about.